another hard thing about comics is like figuring out
where to start. Yeah.
Like you could just go in a comic book shop and like buy a comic, but also like they could be in the middle of an arc. Or even like if you start in a new book, there's still so much like legacy, and like when you're reading like the Marvel or the DC or the characters that exist in these massive universes with these heavy histories, like it's hard to get into. So basically what I'm saying is, hey, if any of our listeners know exactly where DJ should start reading to get into Deadpool.
That or Spider-Man. I've always really loved Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man has always been so good.
Hello, mortals, monsters, and myth lovers alike. You're listening to Podcast of Poseidon, where we explore how ancient myths become modern pop culture by reading Rick Riordan's, Percy Jackson, and the Olympians. This is Chapter 20, Hermes. I'm your co-host, on loan from the Hunters of Artemis, Darien Smartt. Joining me is my co-host and brother, hailing from Pylos, DJ.
How's everybody doing today? We're going to be mixing things up today. As you know, we're talking about Hermes. But Darien had life events to take care of, so I will be heading this episode.
Yeah, you make it sound like I got married, got divorced, or had a baby. I was just busy with school and worked 7 days in a row, so...
Life events.
Life events. Okay, so yes, DJ stepped up as the kick-ass co-host as he is and actually took over the heavy research, the deep diving into the Greek stuff. So I guess that means I will be talking about what we know of Hermes in Percy Jackson.
Yep. Man, Hermes had a lot. I do like him a lot. I think he's one of my favorite gods. He's definitely up there. They all have good ones in his... Hey, Darien. What do you know about Hermes?
I know that... Well, I know an awful lot about Hermes. Do you want me just to talk about Hermes and Sea of Monsters specifically?
Sure.
I could probably go off forever. I know that Hermes shows up and he just encourages Percy to break the rules. Basically,
classic.
Basically he shows up in a jogging suit, which is a look, with a flip phone, which is a look, with two little snakes.
This is also like 2008.
Yeah. So in 2008, Greek god with a flip phone is cutting edge, modern, fascinating, and in 2021, Greek god with a flip phone is what the fuck?
Yeah, right.
It's not.
A little jarring. Oh, it was 2006.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's 2006. Yeah, you're right. It's got the antenna because that's the stand-in for the thing, his symbol, the thing, the cat. I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I didn't research how to say that word. The thing. You all know what I'm talking about with the snakes.
Yeah,
the thing.
I got it right here. The catechus in Latin, or caduceus in Latin. In Greek, let's see if we can find a place that's going to show me how to pronounce it. Looks like Kirukian.
Okay, so that thing.
Yeah.
Kirukian?
Yeah.
So it's got that. That was Hermes' symbol, and it had the two snakes around it. But for the book, to modernize it, it's the snakes are on the antenna, and their names are George and Martha, and they're very sweet. And they're like tiny little worm-sized snakes. They're very cute, and then they get bigger and they get less cute because I don't actually find snakes.
I love snakes.
I know you do. You had a ball python.
I did. I had two at one point, but that's not my choice. Yeah. No. So, and their names weren't George and Martha, so I do think that was an oversight on your part. One of them was named after a really cool Marvel character and like a play on words of the Yuan-ti. The other one was named after a noodle. Okay, that's also pretty good. Fine, you're right. Thank you for reminding me that's also pretty good. Anyway, Hermes shows up after Percy has not been given a quest, and Clarice is going to go on the quest, and Percy's like, but I want to save the camp, and also my best friend, and what am I supposed to do? And Hermes is like, well, here's the thing about breaking the rules. If the outcome is really, really good, everyone will just forgive you. And like... just seems like Hermes forgot Percy wasn't a god.
Right? That's not a message you need to be giving to a 13-year-old.
Absolutely
with ADHD.
not. No. Because I'm not going to lie, that's definitely something that I personally would have been like, I am still like, yeah, fuck it. Better to ask for forgiveness than permission on things like this. Let's just go for it. As long as it works out, everyone will be fine.
This is my motto.
Acknowledging, not a great motto.
No.
What's the motto with you? Well, I listened to Hermes first.
Yeah.
So yeah, he sends Percy off, and it does work out.
Of course it works out. He's the fucking chosen one.
Yeah,
he's the chosen big 3 child, but maybe not the one who kills Kronos, you know.
No, that's, So,
that was like I always really liked that twist on the prophecy.
That was
good.
Well, because I do like how Rick does like do the thing with the prophecy where you don't fully interpret it until after what has happened has come to pass, even when you're totally convinced you know what it means. Because that's how prophecies work, when they're well written and interesting. But also Hermes is Luke's dad.
Yes. Yep,
And
that he is.
That's a whole thing. He's got a lot of kids.
He's got a lot of kids.
Like, well, he's allowed to.
Yeah,
right?
True.
He doesn't have restrictions, so he can do what he wants. But it also feels like he's got so many kids, I think, in part because the Hermes cabin is always being described as, like, so overwhelmed because Hermes is the god of, like, travelers. So their cabin just, hey, if your parent doesn't claim you, you get to come stay with us. And for some reason, they didn't get the biggest cabin. It's not like a cabin that just, like, grows and expands because it feels overcrowded.
It's always overcrowded. What are you talking about? It is overcrowded. It's not that it feels overcrowded. The first thing he says, like, yeah, there's a lot of kids in here. I'm sleeping on the floor in a sleeping bag that, like, somebody gave me.
That's right. Yeah, it's kind of fucked up that the Hermes cabin isn't enchanted to at least have enough space.
Yeah.
For all of
Which is why a lot of, like, children of Hermes and unclaimed kids have resentment, is because, like, they're just getting tossed to the side, which sucks.
Which is, the whole Hermes cabin not expanding is not quite as messed up as the fact that they're just gods not claiming their children. Just whatever.
And to be fair, even if some of those gods had claimed them, like Ethan Nakamura, he had no cabin to go to.
I was about to say that same thing!
Yeah.
Yes! They have no cabin! Like the Hypnos kid we meet in
fucking Cletus.
Lost Hero.
I think it's Cletus.
I think so. I loved
Clyde,
him.
maybe. I don't know. He was great.
Yeah, we only see very little of him, but I do distinctly remember, love that guy.
He was great. He helped Nico.
He did. Yeah, he really did. Love that guy. Good for you. Living his best life, just napping whenever. That's great.
Napping and just exploring the fucking dreamscape, dude. He's invading other people's dreams. Like, he just knows his way around.
I'm such a sucker for dreamscape characters. I think that's why I like. I mean, one, he was just a nice character, but also like, love dreamscape. Yeah. Not what this episode is about.
No.
We'll get there. But yeah, so that's Hermes. He seems like a cool guy. We never say don't be like Hermes. I'm sure he's done some fucked up shit. They all have. They're Greek gods.
It's just like, I feel like it just comes with the territory at that point.
Unfortunately, yeah. But also you just look at the sliding scale of fuckery. Zeus is always at the top. Artemis and Hestia usually at the bottom. Hermes is floating down there in the lower tiers, I think.
For sure. He's just hanging out, honestly.
Yeah. And then that's what also, okay, one more thing. We don't talk about the movies on the podcast, but he was played by Nathan Fillion in Sea of Monsters, which is the only reason I watched Sea of Monsters.
That's fair. I still haven't seen it yet.
That's okay. We won't speak of it today. And that's what I know about Hermes in the Percy Jackson books.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, like, we all know that Rick Riordan has a pretty good grasp on his subject that he likes to, and he does his research, you know? And I would say that in the book, it seems pretty solid.
Oh,
it's pretty solid representation, for sure. Him showing up and just like, hey, just don't listen to them is ridiculously Hermes. The fact that it was Hermes that did that rather than Apollo or Athena or anybody else is just like genius. Because again, let's just go back to Hermes' first day of life. Literally the day he was born. He escapes his crib, steals cattle from Apollo, takes it to Pylos and hides them. I don't fucking know. And he was just like sitting there surviving on these cattle, right? Like he killed them, he ate their meat, made clothes out of their hide. And this is a fucking 1-day-old child, baby, infant. And then he made the lyre from their intestines and bones. Like that is the inception of the lyre. And that's what got him off with Apollo, because they were Apollo's cattle. So he's like, hey, yeah, here's this magic, like musical instrument. Check it out. And Apollo's like, yeah, all right, forgiven.
Not mad anymore.
You're fine. And then not long after that, in like God terms, not long after that, he ended up making the shepherd's pipe. I think it's just a pan flute.
I definitely, before you finish the syllable, thought you were going to say shepherd's pie. And I was like, delicious.
Shepherd's pies are fantastic. And I need to get little tiny tins
good.
so that I can make more of them.
But that is not what that's not what he made, no.
No. He made the shepherd's pipe, and because he wanted to be like, yeah, I kind of just like want to do more things. So he convinced Apollo to let him be... Oh, yeah. The way Apollo found out about Hermes taking the cattle is somebody tattled on him.
Rude.
And so Hermes turned him into a stone.
Snitches get turned to stones.
Yep.
That seems fair. Okay, so and I kind of remember this. If we were recording our Drunk Mythology episode, I was 4 glasses of wine in, too much wine. Johnny, our brother who was on the episode with us, was going on about Hermes being a demigod before he got promoted to godhood. Was that accurate? He's a son of Zeus and a mortal lady, or
a son of Zeus and a nymph.
Oh, okay. So, not
a Pleiad
quite the
nymph,
same thing.
Whatever a Pleiad nymph is.
She's a water nymph?
No, it's not spelled like water nymph.
No, okay. Is it the stars? I don't remember.
Maybe. She was a daughter of Atlas and Fiona.
Okay, so Hermes was born a god.
Okay, so it's the daughter of Pleione, and I guess she's an ocean goddess?
Ha.
Queen of the Amazons.
Oh, shit. No, that's Hippolyta.
That's just what it's saying here.
Yeah, who knows?
Pleiades are daughters of Atlas by Pleione, or by... Oh, it's just...
So
okay. It's just options of who these Pleiades are. The most common one is Pleione, because that's what they're named after. But it could be Erechtheus, Cadmus, or the Queen of the Amazons.
Tight. So, to clarify, was Hermes a demigod who got promoted to godhood, or was he a god?
He was a god. I mean...
Fuck yeah, I knew it! I'm gonna text Johnny right now!
Because, again, being born of a nymph that was born of a titan and it seems like an ocean god is... Yeah. You know?
So shepherd's pipe.
So shepherd's pipe. No, just show me images of this thing. It's a fucking recorder.
What?
That's what it looks like. But it's not a recorder, right? Like, it looks
okay.
like a recorder, but it's not. It's just funny.
Okay, because that would have been a very Hermes move to invent the recorder, this truly torture device that every, 5th grade elementary schooler in the United States has been able to torture the adults in their lives with throughout their music lessons.
Wait, this thing is a recorder with extensions to make it like a lower bass. Make it a lower octave.
Well, that just sounds more pleasant than an actual plastic fucking recorder that every kid had to learn hot cross buns on.
Right. But yeah, so that's what it is. And he convinced Apollo to teach him a bit of how to do prophecies, as well as fucking something else.
And something else.
Either be like a god of shepherdhood or some shit like that. Because after he made this, he made the lyre out of tortoiseshells and the intestines of his thing.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Shape.
But he ended up getting the caduceus. We're just gonna call it that because it's way easier to pronounce.
Yeah, I know. I think that one, and that's
So-
the term most commonly used.
Yeah. So that's when he got the caduceus, and Zeus is like, "All right, you'll be my herald and messenger," because now he could do
Tight.
prophecies and shit. And so that's what it was. And he's
Yeah.
yeah, like Apollo's like, "Okay, you can. Here's how to read prophecies from bones."
Tight. That's one of those metal versions of prophecies, I think.
Yeah, so that's how he learned to do that. And so now he is the herald of Zeus and messenger of the gods.
I would rank the coolness, like the metalness of prophecy reading as the intestine thing, definitely up at the top. Bones, because anything with body parts. Reading the sky is very cool.
It's a good
and
one.
intense. Tea leaves, because they can burn you. And then at the very bottom, you have tarot cards and crystal balls. And crystal balls are only there because if you leave them in a window, it will burn your house down.
That's fair. I would do pretty much that same order. Mm-hmm. At the very top is possession by the fucking Oracle of Delphi.
You're right. Because as we learned in the Oracle of Delphi episode, Oracle of Delphi didn't see that coming. When she possesses you, she's a parasite, and she sucks out your life force until your husks, and then goes to someone else. Right, DJ?
Yep. Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Right.
Cool. So Hermes.
Hermes. So yeah, that's and then like it's funny because in the book, George and Martha are mad because they often get mistaken for the rod of Asclepius.
Yes. I think that might be what I mistake them as, too. But that's not what they are.
Because it's just like everybody believe, like they see that twin snake thing, and they're like, yeah, that's the rod of Asclepius, which is not right. The rod of Asclepius only has one snake.
Oh, okay. Because even when I was early, the thing with the snakes, I was definitely
see in like
picturing that thing
hospitals. We see hospitals with that twin snake with the winged staff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like people still refer to it as the caduceus.
Mm-hmm. But that's not the same thing.
But it's not what it was.
Oh.
Because, like, yes, it's the caduceus, but that's not what it was symbolized for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which
what
I
did
think
it symbolize?
I mean, it's literally just a symbol for Hermes.
Oh, yeah, just a thing. What's with the snakes?
Let's see. That I couldn't find. At least on the websites that I had gone to. And it never really brought that into play. Because it's not like any of his symbols are snakes, you know? And even then, those, like, that twin snake thing, like, I bet it's some obscure shit that, because, like,
yeah,
it's in, like, and I don't want to be like, Percy Jackson is a baseline. But again, Rick Riordan does his fucking research.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like if he really wasn't represented by twin snakes, then the twin snakes wouldn't be there.
Yeah, no, and that makes sense. That makes sense.
But it's not. Yeah, again, it's not like any of his symbols were snakes. His symbols, in fact, were a ram, a hare, the crocus flower, and a strawberry tree.
Strawberry tree?
Strawberry tree.
Is it okay? That has to be a specific kind of tree because strawberries grow on the ground. They grow on vines.
It's really funny to me. Sorry, hold on.
No, you're good.
That it's not actually strawberries. It's a tree that sprouts a fruit that smells so sweetly of strawberries.
But it's tricking you because it's not really strawberries.
Nope.
Perfect for Hermes.
And it's great because now this is spoiler territory for even you, Darien.
No.
Yeah.
It's okay.
In the third book of Trials of Apollo, the burning.
We're talking Trials of Apollo.
This is like early, you know? They come across this like owl-like creature that has like a weakness to what is said to be strawberry tree, and so they're all like, what the fuck is a strawberry tree, dude? They grow on bushes. Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous.
Okay.
And eventually Grover and Meg were like, oh shit, it's this.
Oh, that's cute. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that Grover is the throwback companion for the third book.
Yeah, because they. I love that. I love that series so much. It is definitely my favorite out of all three.
I'm gonna read it. I promise. I'm gonna get there.
You gotta.
I do.
But yeah, and so they did that, and I thought that shit was hilarious. Now that it's coming back, I'm like, whoa. Anyway,
Strawberry tree.
It's called an arbutus.
Oh,
Arbutus
okay.
unedo. It's an evergreen shrub or small tree with the flowering plant family. Yeah, it's fucking eugenics. I don't know how to pronounce, or genus that I don't know how to pronounce.
Okay. I was like, eugenics. Oh my god.
No, genus. It says it's. I'm not even gonna try.
That's okay. We can move past it. It's fine.
But,
it's a tree. It smells like
yeah.
strawberries, but it's not really strawberry.
Let's just get this show on the road. He did. Okay, we'll just do touch on a couple more, and then we'll get to what this episode's really about.
Ooh, I'm excited.
A couple more facts is he helped Perseus kill Medusa. He did. Yep. And then he is the father of Pan, which apparently.
What?
Yeah. Which I think is pretty great.
Like Pan?
Like Pan, the Pan, half man, half goat.
Huh.
The Pan.
Can we elaborate on that one? I know we were just supposed to do like some bullet points, but I would like to elaborate on what?
Let's see here. Of course, this page doesn't show anything about Pan's lineage. Let's just Google his mom's name. Maybe we'll get something there.
Okay.
His mom's name is Dryope.
Love it.
Or Dryope. Paste.
Rolls off the tongue.
Yep.
Okay, because I'm also just Googling to like help to make this fast. The first thing you said was Peope, right?
Dryope.
Okay, and
Or
the second one
Dryope.
was...
It's Dryope. Dryopie.
Tight. Okay, because there's like either Dryope or Penelope, and I was like, wait, did Davis just pronounce Penelope Peope?
No.
I was like, holy shit.
Okay. Yeah, and it's like his son Pan. I'm just going through some of these bullet points because I think they're great.
Yeah.
His son Pan was half man, half goat. Pan's mother was named Dryope, and was terrified of her son's strange appearance, which is really sad.
Aw, that is really sad. Especially because he just looks like a satyr, and there are a bunch. Or is he like the father of all satyrs?
I think he's the father of all satyrs.
Okay, so I was gonna be like, but there's a bunch of those running around, babe. Like,
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Aw, yeah, that is really sad.
Yeah. Yep. And in Greek mythology, he is the god of boundaries, both literal and figurative, which I think is pretty sweet.
Next time someone's overstepping, I will definitely call in Hermes.
Yeah. And it helps him to where he is able to go to the underworld without any consequences. Just go back and forth because he fucking can.
Yeah, that's right. He can do that. He like sends messages and runs down there when we have the whole Hades and Persephone thing. Zeus sends Hermes.
Yeah. It's pretty great. He helps out Thanatos collecting souls sometimes.
Yes, I like that. That makes sense. He like guides them to the underworld, and then Charon takes him the rest of the way.
And time to get to the real topic of this video. Mm-hmm. He was a trickster.
He was
a
Greek
cunning
trickster
bastard.
god.
So we thought today, or at least I did, and I dropped it on Darien. Today would be
2 minutes
fun.
before we started recording.
Yep, today will be fun if we talk about our favorite tricksters and con artists in pop culture.
Ooh, I'm very excited.
So, what is your favorite trickster god? Or not trickster god, but trickster in pop culture.
In pop culture. I was very much like, well, it's Loki, but we should probably save him for another time. Favorite trickster in pop culture. Okay.
This looks like it's like a trope style website that's got a bunch of people who I guess could be considered tricksters, but not really sometimes.
I'm trying to think what because it's just such a big question. I'm trying to think like what designates a trickster exactly. I guess the first thing that comes to my mind is Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls. But he's less of a trickster character and more of just a straight up fucking demon.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And that's not the same thing.
Not quite. I sent you a link to what I'm looking at right now. And again, some of these are like, yeah, these are tricksters, but other ones, not so sure about. Why is there a question mark on this one? Fred George Weasley. Of course.
Oh yeah, the Weasley twins.
Yeah, but there's a question mark at the end of that. So I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Mark Twain.
Yeah.
This is weird. Okay. Yeah, this list is overly comprehensive and very bizarre.
This list's definition of a trickster is vague.
Okay. In pop culture, on this list at the top, there's one. This isn't the one that came to my mind, but I like it. You see in the banner, there's a picture of Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, that's the...
Who I think is 100% fits the trickster motif.
Oh, yeah.
By every possible definition.
He is absolutely a trickster. Like, he just pulls shit out of his ass constantly. And he multiplies himself just to fuck with people.
It's fucking wild. I do love Bugs Bunny, and I love that old style, like Looney Tunes slapstick humor that when you watch the older cartoons, you're like, these are brilliant. They're so brilliant, and how just like deadpan Bugs is every time, and that's what like delivers the comedy. Mm-hmm. When he's like being chased or whatever, and then I can't even think of, like, this is just so general. I can't even think of like specifics. I haven't watched Looney Tunes in a really long time, but I have a vague memory of like Bugs running from probably Elmer Fudd or Yosemite Sam or someone else he's pissed off enough that they just want to kill him. And he like runs around the corner and they chase after him. So he like runs into like a closet and they chase after him. And then he like high-pitched shrill screech and like, oh my gosh. And like Yosemite Sam or whoever, like Elmer Fudd comes running out, eyes covered. And then Bugs comes out in like a dress and like a towel, like, this is the women's changing room. What are you doing here? And they're like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You son of a bitch. And just slaps. I'm so sorry, ma'am. And it's just like, and the joke isn't necessarily like, oh, dude in a dress. The joke is the rabbit is funny. Like, the rabbit is willing to do whatever. Yeah, like, Bugs is brilliant and knows, like, this is going to get him. This is how I'm going to get out. I also just love that very fuck gender aspect of Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny has always just been like, we're just going to fuck with people. It doesn't matter how I get there.
Yeah, fuck with people and the gender binary is good. Rabbit season. Duck season. I love that back and forth between Bugs and Daffy Duck, which is definitely probably one of the most basic ones.
Just a classic.
Arguing with it, and then just the trick Bugs pulls is just halfway through the argument, just switches around and just says rabbit season and pulls the gun to himself, and then Daffy just too far into the pattern, just duck season fire.
Yeah, just
it's gold. It's really funny.
It's so solid. I love it. Just a lot. So, yeah. It's always been just so good between the two.
So yeah, I would definitely say Bugs Bunny up there in the trickster pantheon.
Heck
Nothing but respect.
Nothing but respect from our boy.
Our rabbit boy.
We got, it says Maui from Polynesian.
Mm-hmm. Maui from Polynesian folklore or mythology. Another straight up trickster character. He wasn't a god. I think he was a demigod.
He was a demigod, but their definition of demigod were different.
Yeah, but he was also he was their trickster archetype.
Yeah, and just a good time. Checking out a couple of other these. Robin Hood. I can agree with that one. Robin Hood just kind of fucking with people. Mainly the rich, but like...
Yes, I do like that. I assume this is... My biggest touchstone from Robin Hood will definitely always be Fox Robin Hood.
Oh, yeah.
Is best Robin Hood.
Yeah.
But in that one specifically, how he dresses up as a fortune teller to get into Prince John's caravan, and then like
kisses
dresses up as
his rings off.
That's Little John does
Little
that.
John
He
does
kisses
that?
the gems off of the rings. Yeah, Robin just straight up steals them. He's like, "Oh, let me kiss your hand," and then stakes the ring. Or he dresses up as a beggar to sneak around and stuff. I assume or he dresses up as like the stork, because the dressing up in costume to enter the archery competition is part of like that old school Robin Hood folklore. I don't know if dressing up as a fortune teller is.
No.
But definitely has
would-
that trickster element.
100%. If you guys have not checked out Disney's The Robin Hood back in the fucking 60s, I think it came out in, do so. It is one of the best.
Yes, it is.
It's out there. Honestly, if you search Disney's Robin Hood, you'll find it. Like, it's just the one where he's a fox and Maid Marian's a fox.
She's a vixen. I would be shocked if any of our listeners haven't. I'm sure there are like younger kids who have not been exposed to it. We only saw it because our Nana had it on VHS. It was the one of two she had was fucking Fox Robin Hood and the Aristocats. And that was her VHS Disney movies.
They were
And
great.
that's what we watched when we went to visit.
Let's move on to a couple of other little more known ones.
Please.
Deadpool, I would say he's an absolute trickster.
Yes, Deadpool definitely falls in line with Trickster. More, well, because Deadpool like does the breaking. I haven't read a lot of Deadpool comics, to be honest.
I've seen the movies because they're great.
Seen the movies; they're great. I read more Gwenpool,
Seen
and
the
that was really
screenshots
fun.
of them. It's just a good time. I always like. I want to get into reading the Deadpool comics, but it's just like I never have the money to start comics.
Not what this episode's about.
Not what this episode's about. We should talk about The Mask. Jim Carrey's
The Mask is a
Mask.
great one. Yeah, the Mask is just straight up intentionally supposed to. In the movie, they say it's Loki's mask.
I
He's
love
channeling the god Loki.
It's hilarious. It's also just a fun movie. Son of the Mask
also
wasn't
just
so
fun.
great, but
No. But The Mask is a fun movie.
Yeah.
The dance sequence
yeah, when in front of all the
with
cops.
the police officers, that's
it's such a classic.
amazing. Yeah.
Very solid. There's like 3 Jim Carrey characters on here. We got the Grinch as well. Not sure if I agree with that one, but
No, I think you were talking like Jim Carrey's The Grinch. He kind of does a little. No, I wouldn't even say. What you have in the Grinch movie from 2000 is just Jim Carrey's chaotic energy that he just inherently has within his soul.
As well
But
as
the
like
Grinch is
Ace
not a
Ventura.
trickster.
I wouldn't say Ace
Yeah.
Ventura is a trickster in that either.
No, this list is not super solid.
No, it's
You
really
can't-
not.
It's not enough to be chaotic. Like that chaos.
That's the
of
thing, is that their
costumes-
terminology for trickster is so broad that it's just not there, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we get, like, fucking Aang, I guess.
Not really. Or I think on the list is like Olivia Colman, the actor Olivia Colman. I don't get it.
Beetlejuice.
Yes,
Yeah,
I would say Beetlejuice is a trickster character.
100%. He tricks people into calling him out and then just fucks with them constantly.
Yeah, because like I was saying, it's not enough for that. Like the chaos and the costumes. Like what makes a trickster character is the narrative purpose that they serve.
Yeah.
Like that's when they're a trickster and not just a weirdo.
We got Ben Franklin.
I think we should abandon this list.
This list is crazy. There's some good things though, right? It's like they bring up some that I'm like, oh yeah, like Peter Pan. I wouldn't have thought of Peter Pan, but I would say Peter Pan's a trickster in terms of Captain Hook.
I mean, yeah, I think he tricks Hook, but I don't think he's a trickster exactly because trickster characters inherently their purpose in this story is that they tend to cause more problems, but are simultaneously capable of being the one to solve the problem through unusual or unexpected means.
Uh-huh.
Like Bugs Bunny, he has usually caused whatever problem he finds himself in. Like Hermes.
Yeah.
He caused the cow problem.
He caused the cow problem, but he solved the cow problem and he got to keep the cows.
And you gotta keep the cows. And then you gotta like level up the divinity. Like Loki does this like kind of bullshit in Norse mythology where you definitely are the reason that the giants are angry.
Yeah.
So you're gonna go fix the problem. He's like, all right, I'll shapeshift into a horse. How's that gonna solve anything? Just trust me. And fuck, it works.
Yeah. And then
It worked though.
I will bring up just one last thing from this list before we just kind of talk about our own favorites without the list. Willy Wonka.
Ooh.
Oh,
Willy
man.
Wonka. Let me reflect on Willy Wonka for
I would say yes. Because he does nothing to stop it.
He is Willy Wonka a trickster character or is he Satan?
Well, what's the difference?
I think as we discussed between
According
Bill
to this
Cipher and
list,
Bugs Bunny,
Satan is number 48.
and okay, hold on. I'm thinking in terms of the Judeo-Christian traditions.
Satan is technically he is a trickster. He supposedly tricks people away from the light of God. That's his whole game.
He does. I mean, in the garden, he rolls up as a snake. Some theologies say that the snake is not actually Satan, but a snake who was shitty, and some are like, oh, it's Satan. If like Paradise Lost, it was Lucifer who shapeshifts into a snake, whatever. Paradise Lost is not a theological basis, but we're talking about pop culture and storytelling traditions now. But yeah, so he does trick. He's not being, but he shapeshifts into a snake, so she'll think, oh, I know snakes. They live here. That's fine. I can talk to the snake. It's not a big deal. Like, if he showed up as, like, fallen angel, then maybe she's like, I don't think I should trust you, dude. You're a stranger. So there's that. But, I mean, yes, he tricks him away, but he, not exactly the role of a trickster, just the role of an asshole.
Okay, but then we were talking about Satan.
Yes, I don't feel that Satan, in the context of Judeo-Christian traditions, qualifies as a trickster god. He does not serve the same purpose.
We're not even saying trickster
as your
god.
Hermes, as your Mauis, as your Lokis, as your Bugs Bunnies.
Yeah, but no, as we know, trickster can also just mean different things. Yes, that list is broad, but Satan, in the terms of Judeo-Christian, tricks people into going away from the light of the God. That is his whole fucking game, is he tricks people to step away from the light of God. I
guess. He's just not fun.
Yeah, he's not a fun trickster, but that's the game, Darien.
I feel like that's another qualification is, but do you do it with style? Are you fun to watch?
Okay, we can have a fucking line here, Darien, where this is trick, this is fun. Satan will be here, Bugs Bunny is here. All right? Do you really want? We can do this.
No, I can live with that. No, I can live with that. Okay. So there's an umbrella of the trickster god, and then we go into
we got Barney Stinson's hot crazy line, where instead of hot crazy, it's trick fun line. Right?
The trick fun line.
The trick
more
fun
trick
line.
you get, the less fun it is for everybody.
Yeah, if you're gonna be this tricky, you gotta be at least be this fun.
So Satan's this tricky, but but getting Eve to eat the apple is no fun.
No.
Bugs Bunny's right. He's getting the Bugs Bunny.
He's on the Bugs Bunny line.
That's right. So where's Hermes at?
I'd say he's a little above the Bugs Bunny line on more the trick side.
A little more trick than fun. Okay.
Yeah.
So DJ, who are your favorite trickster characters?
I'm gonna have to pull out Ed and Eddy. I think they're fun as fuck.
Elaborate.
The whole point is them trying to trick people into giving them a quarter so that they could get a jawbreaker. And the fucking cons that Eddy pulls out of his ass to be able to get a single quarter is insane. When he built a whole ass city out of cardboard boxes, he recreated Ralph's fucking homeland out of him, Ed and Eddy, or him, Ed and Double D, just playing all these other characters. Like, he pulls shit out of his ass to do this, dude. And like, if that's not a trickster, I don't know what is.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Here's what's wild about Ed, Edd and Eddy is that if they had just been upfront that we're like the Disneyland, we're creating a Disneyland experience. Like they lied. They said we're going to take you to the big city, and then the con fell apart when the kids were like, "This is just a cardboard thing you built." But if they had been like, "Hey, we're going to give you the experience of going to the big city," and always just said, "It's the experience of returning to your homeland. It's the experience of traveling back in time. It's the experience of going through a haunted house and seeing the Grim Grinning Ghost party." Like, those boys are some Imagineer.
No, yeah, no. Again, like, Eddy has, like, some god-tier imagination going on.
So are we extending into just general, like, con men?
Yeah, I mean, I would say con men are tricksters, too. Because...
I love the team from Leverage.
Dude, Leverage. Leverage is so great.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, man. It's just, like, so... It's just great, because, like, all the characters work well together. It seems like the actors had a great time.
Mm-hmm. It looked like it. I've never heard otherwise, but I don't know. That was one of my comfort shows. I just watched Leverage over and over and over and over.
Or at least, like, as much as loop we could, because it wasn't on Netflix, so we had just a bunch of episodes recorded on DirecTV.
Recorded on the DVR. Yeah. But yeah, Leverage, for folks who have not heard the show, it was... basically, it's about a group of con artists who they are the brains of their group. He used to be, I believe, an insurance investigator to see if people were conning him, like the insurance, like trying to pull a fast one. So he's very smart. He's very good at that. And then his son got sick. And the insurance company that he worked for denied coverage of an experimental treatment that could have saved his kid's life.
I didn't know that was his backstory. That's pretty rough.
That's his backstory. It's real fucked up. So he backslides. He goes into a dark place. And then it pilots up, whatever. But basically, he ends up getting together with these other people. You've got, like, your hacker. You've got your, like, femme fatale, Irene Adler type character. You have the tech genius, you have, like, the muscle, but they're all
and you got your gymnast spy.
Yes. So they all get together, and basically they start a crew where they pull, they Robin Hood, right? They pull
it's great.
con.
And if you guys do want to check it out, at least check out the intro, because I think the intro is one of the strongest intros of all time for those kinds of shows.
The intro's great, where it's the voiceover narration, where it's explaining what's going on, where there are people with power who use their power to hurt others who can't do anything about it. So, like, so the crew, they basically, people who need help find them, and they go and pull cons on these people, because what the person who is being hurt needs is leverage. And so like, they pull a con to provide that leverage. For you.
And I'm like, that's burned into my fucking skull, dude. Like, it's so good.
It's real. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, definitely watch the intro. It's super fun. It's just tight. But yeah, they've done... art heists. They pretended to steal an expensive violin from this, like, shitty art collector guy who was, like, denying, like, payments or something, or had stolen. I'm sure, like, they saved a church one time. They tried to steal Washington to get a bill passed to protect cheerleaders and get it designated as a sport, so there would be safety regulations. It's really
a lot of fun, and like the cons that they do, and even like the side stories that happen throughout like the arc of the show is really great.
Just the character growth. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just the way the characters are, and they grow and develop, and it's really cool. Like, I spoilers for the series finale, but like eventually, like the lead, the brains, I don't remember anybody's name, but he decides, I'm done. It's time to retire. He and like. The Irene Adler type, they have been on and again off again for the whole series. They get together to go get married and like go off. And this one character who was like very like socially isolated, like didn't know how to connect to people, didn't really like engaging with people, didn't really want to be a part of a team, but had nowhere else to go. Her growth over the whole series was just so cool to watch, that at the end, she is like the running the show at the end, and she's the one talking to people like, we're here to help you. What you need.
Yeah, and that's the spy character. She is wonderful.
Yeah, she's like a spy. But yeah. Oh yeah. I think one of my favorite ones is when they like pull a Houdini and fuck with some I can talk to ghost type mentalist guy.
Yeah, the cold reader. The cold reader.
Yeah, the cold reader.
Fuck
who
that
is
guy.
like this.
That was a
Fuck
piece
that
of
guy.
shit.
Like he cons people into saying like I can talk to your dead relatives, and then just drains them of their life savings. These people who are mourning and sad and just want to like know something is certain in the universe, and so like this like woman who's had her entire life savings taken by this asshole, her son goes to them and is like, can you please help my mom? And they do, and they just fuck up this guy's life, and it's very satisfying, like Robin Hood style. It's satisfying.
It's so good, and I've been meaning to check it out again because it's been on my mind a lot recently. I don't know why, but it's just like, man, I want to watch fucking Leverage right now, and then I never get around to it.
Yeah. So I would say, yeah, they have tricking fun. They're on the scale, high trick, but also fun.
I don't really got any more, honestly, in mind. If you have a couple more.
I thought of one he's like straight up is known as the Trickster, and it is from Supernatural, which we don't talk about nearly as often as you think we would on this show.
No, I've never seen it.
I watched every episode until the musical
episode.
And then there was a musical episode late in the game, and I just stopped watching.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch that episode. I knew it was the next one, and DVR didn't record it, and I was just like, I'm good. I think I'm good. I stand by that decision. No shade. I just stand by it for me. But early season, there was this character who he was called he was the Trickster, right? He was like a trickster. He was like, put him in like time loops and shapeshift and all this shit. And he was just impossible to kill. They tried their fucking hardest, and he kept reoccurring. They could not kill him. At one point in time, as always, the brothers are dealing with the fact that there's like a heavenly war, and they like have to be on one side or the other. And like the younger brother is supposed to be an avatar for fucking Lucifer to possess, and then like the older brother is supposed to be the avatar for like fucking Michael to. I don't know. And that's not even the weirdest plot that they had in this stupid show, and that's how dismissive I am at the start. Not stupid. It was great. You know what I mean. Yeah. But
me talking about adventure.
They go to this like yeah, right. So they go to this mystery house, and then the younger brother, Sam, dies. Holy shit! What the fuck? And then all of a sudden, like Dean wakes up next morning, or not next morning, same morning, and they do it again, and Sam dies. And it's just like a fucking Groundhog Day cycle over and over again, where every single day Sam dies, and then Dean wakes up that same morning with that radio playing. It's literally Groundhog Day. And then they finally figure out how to beat it. They figure out a way out, and then Sam dies the next day. And Dean doesn't wake up.
Uh-oh.
And so he spends a year tracking down what has happened, because he realizes what has happened is that fucking Trickster. So they track him down. They get him like, you reset this, you bring it back, you this is not how it goes. And then you discover that this like Trickster character is Gabriel the Archangel. Because he has him trapped, and the way, because Dean is interrogating him, he has him like trapped in like some like magical supernatural prison. And the way he's like, you have, and the Trickster is telling him, you have to do that. This war needs to happen. You need to go on. These sides are arguing. And he's just getting like so intense about it. And Dean's listening. He's like, you're talking about family. This is really personal to you. No one talks like this unless they're talking about their own family. So who the fuck are you? And it's just this weirdly great line that like the way the actor delivers is burned into my brain. He just like goes from this rage and stuff and everything to he's so defeated, and he's like, Gabriel. I'm Gabriel. And it's like, shit, what? Because he bailed. He got too sick of hearing his brothers fight and just constantly wanting like daddy's like attention. He just got too sick of it. He just left. And so he like rolled as a stint as Loki for a while. And like that's how he gained his like Trickster persona. He does this thing later on where he traps them in a television. Like they're just trapped in like TV shows. That's a great episode. And actually he was a really cool character. He ends up dying.
I feel like
it was
the
really
majority
sad.
of characters in that end up dying.
I mean, they do not. That's actually not a spoiler for Supernatural, believe it or not.
You bring up a character, I assume he's dead by the end of it. Well, yeah.
They're definitely dying. Yeah, he lasted several seasons, but it was cool because you had this Trickster character, and he did the Trickster thing. And you find out he's an archangel, but he still holds on to that like Trickster characteristic, even when you know the truth about him. And oh shit, maybe it was the time. Maybe it wasn't the time loop Groundhog Day episode. It was the TV channels episode where they discover that he's Gabriel. Because they have Castiel shows up in the TV and they're like, we're trapped by the trickster. And Castiel's like, this is way too powerful to be a trickster. And that's when they discover, oh shit, you're Gabriel. Anyway, I didn't want the supernatural fans to come for me. Yeah. I swear I watched the show. But he ends up, his last stand is he tries to take on Lucifer. Like, he tries to make amends for abandoning his family, and he tries to, like, do the right thing, and Lucifer kills him. Yeah. Obvi. But it was like, wait, did Cass kill him? No, I think Lucifer killed him. I don't remember. But I thought that was cool. There's a lot of things about Supernatural that I'm just like, I didn't love. A lot of takes on, like, their mythos that just got, like, really muddy and, like, really kind of gross sometimes. But an archangel bailing on family drama to become a trickster.
Very relatable.
I really did like that. I did like that, and I liked that character. Yeah, right? Sometimes you just would be like, I want to go to the woods. Fuck it, I'm joining the pagans. No, not really. Dad, not really. Now we have to say that.
I did think of a couple more.
Perfect.
The janitor in Scrubs.
He definitely falls more on the trickster side than the fun side of the line. You're not wrong, though. You're not wrong.
Solid on the Bugs Bunny line. I loved his tricks and fun, dude. They were fun. I liked watching them.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't like having them done to me. I liked watching them.
I mean, no. I guess the difference is like it feels like it comes from such a malicious place what he does to JD.
I think like the first 2 seasons it does. It does.
Yes, later seasons I think it is just more it's just like this man is very chaotic.
More like later seasons he's just
just weird.
Yeah, he's just funny to fuck with. I don't hate the guy.
I don't
he's
actually
cool.
have a vendetta.
He's funny. He's fun to fuck with. His reactions are hilarious. And then like we see that when JD stops reacting to his shit. He's like, dude, what the fuck?
He's like, this isn't fun anymore. Okay, I'll go pick out and I'll find a new intern to pick on.
Essentially. But man, it is such a blast. That him and all of his antics were great. Magic Man from Adventure Time. After when I had mentioned Adventure Time, I like, oh yeah, fucking Magic Man, dude. He's a piece of
guy.
Shit. High up there on the trick.
Fucking hate that guy. No, all trick, no fun. Fuck you.
Like, I don't fucking care for his shenanigans.
Doesn't Betty steal his powers?
Yeah, Betty steals his powers in order to figure out what's wrong with Simon.
And that kind of messes her up for a while, doesn't it?
Wow. I can't say anything further.
And that, I know.
Because we need to sit down and watch.
I know. We do. But here's the thing that makes me. I mean, I don't like that because Betty, and I want the best for her. I do like it because fuck you, Magic Man.
Yeah, he becomes like the power is what was making him crazy. So when he becomes not Magic Man, I forget what the fuck they called him. I know it's not Normal Man, although that's something that would fall in line for Adventure Time.
Yeah, just some guy,
right? Like, but
he's just some guy.
He shows up and he takes on the role of what Betty was doing and doing like a research, trying to figure out where Betty went with his powers.
Oh wow, I don't remember that.
It happened.
That's really cool.
After you stopped.
Oh, it was so good. I need to watch that one again. That one is good. That one is one that I dropped off non-intentionally.
Yeah, no, I dropped off it for a while, and then I'm like, oh shit, it's all on Hulu. Let's go check this shit out. And I watched the rest of it on Hulu.
Tight. Here's what's fascinating is that when I would talk about why I stopped watching Supernatural, I would often bring up Adventure Time because what I found frustrating about watching Supernatural after so long, like you said, Davis, when I say that Gabriel died, but that's not a spoiler, you're like, yeah, I just assume everybody dies. That got really frustrating boring. After a while.
I can imagine that just got grating.
Boring. It felt like a cheap gut shot to get the emotion, but it also kept the world so very small. Like it was always only Sam and Dean and the Impala. And then we had Cass, but sometimes not. But the world was so small, despite it going on for years, despite it having this rich and
interesting and layered like lore that took from all these like different type of storytelling traditions, sometimes better than others, sometimes more respectfully than others, but it was there. And you would go around and you'd meet all these characters and like all these people, and you have that same thing in Adventure Time where the world is rich and layered, and these characters go around and they meet these other characters. But in Adventure Time, you could have an episode that was about one of these other characters, not Finn and Jake. Not even
they're not even in the episode except for maybe a cameo at the end.
Not even in the episode. Yeah, and that didn't feel weird because the world we had, this story was so big that of course something else must be going on in it. It
is great because it's like we see characters like, and maybe even they're just like, haha, thrown in there when Finn and Jake are running or some shit like that. We see them in the background, and that just like fleshes the world out more because like these characters are doing something that doesn't have anything to do with Finn or Jake or PB or fucking anything. We see like it's just it's great. We see these characters just having their own lives and living in their own way, and yeah, it's a funny kid show. Haha, we like get gags all the time, but it's got that intricacy that's really nice.
Yeah, and Supernatural could never have that because they killed everybody else. There was even an episode where the whole point of it was the monster, the villain, whoever, I don't even remember, was just going and killing everybody that they had saved. So even characters who we'd met who had survived and were still living somewhere in the world, the show just killed them off. They were supposed to do a spin-off series called Wayward Sisters that was supposed to be about like these group of young women and their like journey as hunters that they scrapped because I don't really know the intricacies why, but that just demonstrates how you could not have a bigger world. It had to be around these just the core central characters, and that felt like such a loss. But I mean, ultimately, that was what the Supernatural show was. It wasn't necessarily about the world anymore. People only came to see Sam and Dean and Castiel. And I'm not saying that was bad. And if that was your jam,
more power to you.
More power to you. And I have like some shows are like that's fine. I'm not saying it should have been different, but that's actually how Kate and I became friends. Is we were talking about like what our Supernatural spinoff would have looked like how we would have done the show because we both really liked it at the time. So I owe a lot to Supernatural, but yeah, it just is. It's just, I don't know. It's just something I hadn't thought about in a long time. But like the thing that was so remarkable about the Adventure Time was how big the world felt and how they always let it feel big and wonderful. And Supernatural, how despite having cosmic theological lore and levels, felt so very small.
Like that's like to a counterpoint to everybody just constantly dying. Nobody ever died in Adventure Time. And even if they did, which it was very few and far between, it was impactful. Or a throwaway gag.
Yes.
Or a throwaway gag for a character that didn't fucking matter. You know?
Yeah, right. It was, like the death was not used as a shocker. But like some characters you just die, like, what the fuck? Like, oh, twist, oh, they died. Or like, characters are not killed to like, important characters were not killed just to demonstrate how dangerous the villain was. We would believe how dangerous the villain was. You can just tell us. You can show us in other ways. You can show us the fear. That's why the Lich was a very good
villain.
Very good.
Solid villain is what that guy was.
Is Taco from the Adventure Zone a trickster? So. Yeah, right?
I'd say all three of them.
He does the shape-shifting.
All three of them just fuck with people in that world.
Merle tries to be a trickster and never succeeds.
He's here on the scale.
He's fun, but no trick.
Fun, but no trick. But a trickster nonetheless, because he tries.
He tries. Taco actually succeeds. Because Justin just rolled real well.
It's wonderful. But, yeah, I don't have anything more for this episode.
Since we have found ourselves in an episode about a trickster god, it would be completely irresponsible of me not to bring to the table this text that my dear friend and past guest of the show, Skylar Barsanti, sent me not 2 weeks ago. This is something she has mentioned to me on and off a couple times, just this idea rattling in her head. Real people who are obviously trickster gods. But specifically, reality show hosts who are also trickster gods.
I would like to share. And again, I did not ask her to send me this recently. This is I did not know that this was the angle DJ was going to take with this episode. So this is just a lovely gift from the universe. And to the universe, I say thank you. And to Skylar, I also say thank you. Here are, according to Skylar Bersanti, the top 3 trickster gods turned TV show host. Should I start from the top or the bottom? I'm going to start from the top because I think you personally will like the bottom best. So, number 1, you have Chris Harrison from The Bachelor.
I have no idea who that is. I don't watch The Bachelor.
I'm sure there are members of our audience who will appreciate this. Maybe one member in it, Skylar Bersanti. Number 2, Andy Cohen, The Real Housewives.
Again, don't want. I bet our mom would like that one.
Yes, and I have watched The Real Housewives reunions several times.
Yeah.
Yes,
This is just
Mr. Cohen is definitely a trickster god. This motherfucker, and he just looks like he's got this kind of look that looks. Yeah, Andy Cohen. He has this kind of look that you're like, you look like you're about to change your bone structure. Not in a bad way, just in that kind of like, you know, that kind of like trickster god way where you're like, you can look however you choose, and this is just what you've picked for today.
Oh, yeah. I could see that.
Mm-hmm. And number 3, to pivot entirely, you find Johnny Knoxville from Jackass.
Oh, yeah. Johnny Knoxville's like, the whole crew of Jackass is just a bunch of fucking trickster gods. Fucking with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like...
Yeah.
Yeah. And...
but Johnny Knoxville is definitely the Loki of the group.
100%. And I'm going to add like one more that's not reality, but it's faux reality. Chris McLean from Total Drama Island.
Oh, Chris McLean from Total Drama Island!
Oh,
obviously! Yes, exactly that!
Yeah. That's, he's absolutely a trickster. Just
absolutely
fucking,
a trickster.
Hey, here's your challenge.
TV host.
And then omits one minor detail that could fucking change the whole thing.
The murder detail.
The murder detail. Your challenge is to climb this rock wall. Little do they know, I got a bag of bees and Chef's got some honey up at the top. So he's going to dump it down and I'm going to throw the bees at them.
Yeah, he's maybe more trick, less fun for the people who are the victims here.
For the people who are the victims, he's here on the scale. Like, more trick, less fun. For everybody watching, he's fucking on the line, dude.
Yeah. He does not do useful things. He has great power and uses it irresponsibly.
That's great. That's all I got.
Oh, it's really good. Yeah, no, I think I very much I enjoyed this. I did no research and I just got to sit here and think about it.
It's great, right?
It was great. I'm sure there are way more like trickster characters we haven't discussed, and as always, I invite our listeners to hit us up on Instagram, tweet at us, let us know who your favorite trickster characters are.
All right, thank you guys so much for listening.
Davis, we forgot to go to the camp store.
Well, camp store now.
Hey DJ, I'm wandering to the camp store, and there's just something I'm not able to find here.
Is it the reviews?
It is the reviews.
Oh my god, we don't got any reviews, guys.
Don't got any reviews to read.
We want to read your reviews. We really do.
I would love to read reviews left on Apple Podcasts beneath 5-star ratings.
And we know that there are 44% of you listening to our podcast on Apple Podcast.
I've seen the stats.
We can see those numbers. We can see those numbers. Don't act like you don't hide from us. We can see you.
44% of you could leave a review right now while you're listening. And you must like us. You're listening. So let us know about it.
Yeah, you're listening consistently. Like, come on.
We appreciate that.
Leave us a review.
We really do.
We appreciate your download. It's great. But a review would also be helpful.
Would love a review. And everyone who is not listening through Apple Podcasts, maybe it's Spotify. Maybe you've got it on Pocket Cast. I'm a Pocket Cast fan. I know.
I'm a Spotify guy.
You can also leave reviews on Apple Podcasts because the other platforms don't let you. But Apple Podcasts really, really cares about reviews and ratings because algorithms. And we are but subjects to the algorithm.
Aren't we all? Mm-hmm. You use YouTube, even if you don't upload videos to it, you're still a subject to the algorithm.
Still subject to the algorithm. We're Instagram. We're subject to the algorithm. We're all just pawns in the machine. But the machine can produce nice free content like we do.
Yeah.
And here at Podcast of Poseidon, we try to use our little corner of that algorithm to do some good.
And we like to make the world a better place by doing this.
Each month, we donate $1 for every patron we have on Patreon to a children's literacy charity. This month, we'll be donating to the Children's Literacy Initiative.
CLI is a nonprofit working to close the literacy achievement gap between disadvantaged children and their more affluent peers. They do this by stocking classrooms with high-quality children's literature and coaching teachers to incorporate effective literacy practices into their daily work with students.
In the 2019-2020 school year alone, CLI helped nearly 105,000 students and distributed over 34,000 books.
We currently have 6 patrons, so we'll be donating an additional $20, bringing our total donation to $26. Thank you to our patrons for making this donation possible.
And before we let you go, I just want to let everybody know that our next episode will be airing Tuesday, August 17th, and we will be talking about the Hydra.
Exciting.
And now, on to the show.
Back to the show.
Yeah, now back to the show. I do have, actually, DJ, I have one more parting thought. We'll see if it's a parting thought or if it just springboard us into another 15-minute conversation. With the advent of instant messaging and email and what have you, is Hermes out of a job?
No, he created the internet.
Perfect. All right. Hey, thanks for listening, everybody.
All right, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode, fucking spearheaded by me. If you liked it, let us know. If not, let us know, and we'll figure out.
No, I don't want to hear about it.
Well, I want to hear
Just
about
tweet
it.
directly at DJ.
Yeah, I want to hear about it.
Go tell him on his Twitch stream. I don't want to hear
if I
about
ever
it.
fucking get back to doing that. No, the reason I want to hear about it is like, is this format good? Did you like me spearheading it? I would like to know, and if there's things that I can do better, I think we could have fun with it.
Okay, that's very like growth and mature of you. Look, okay, if you're asking for any sort of like helpful critiques to allow us to grow, that's different. I just don't want to hear people like, I hate your show. Like, that's fine. You don't have to listen. It's just free content. Spend your time doing something else. Whatever.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening.
1 star on Apple Podcasts. Okay.
Thanks.
Sure. We only had 2 episodes out. That's fine. It doesn't drive me crazy every time I think about it. We also have a lot of lovely like star reviews. So it's like, whatever.
Yeah. Understandable. Thank you guys so much for listening. We do appreciate each and every one of you.
So, actually, hold over. So, yes, please give us feedback on this episode. Please tell Davis he did a wonderful job, so he keeps being willing to take up episodes when I'm too busy to do research. I need that. I need it. Darien needs it specifically.
Yep.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Don't be like Zeus.
Don't be like Zeus. Podcast of Poseidon is created and hosted by Darien and DJ Smartt. It's edited by Darien Smartt. The show is produced by Darien and DJ Smartt, as well as
Tim O'Connor, the Crystal Con Man. Our music is Athens Festival by Martin Hain, and our cover art is by Audrey Miller. You can find her on Instagram at bombshellnutshellart.
Like the show? Ready for more? Support Podcast of Poseidon on Patreon. Just $1 gets you exclusive bonus content. Find out more at patreon.com/podcastofposeidon.
Can't spare the drachmas? You can support the show by leaving a review on Apple Podcast or by sharing us with your friends. Find all of our episodes and episode transcripts at podcastofposeidon.com.
Thanks for listening.